Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing The Ultimatum Season 3, Episodes 3 and 4. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I gotta ask y'all, is it just me? Because I know I'm having a bad week. Like, I'm actually having such a bad week. I think that's why in the last episode, I was just so triggered by that comment because, homegirl, I really hope your feelings weren't hurt. I realized it was a joke. Even the guy I was talking to, he said something to me that was clearly a joke. And I was like, you just hurt my feelings. Like, I think I'm just in my feelings this week. So am I the one who's off? Or is this season just not eating? The season is not hitting yet for me. I don't know. Is episode 5? This is the one time I will allow you to softly spoil it for me. Does episode 5 pick up? Because if it does, I'll hold on. But if it doesn't, ooh, y'all, we might not make it to the second batch. Just gonna be honest. Anyways, let's talk about it while we're here, okay? So we are still at the choice. JR picks Sandy because she brings out the fire in him. Nick picks Vanessa. Vanessa picks Nick. Arya and Caleb pick each other. So the couples are Caleb and Arya, JR and Sandy, Scotty and Zaina, Chanel and Dave, Micah and Maria, and Nick and Vanessa. Now this season, they want to really spice things up, introduce some engagement rings so you actually feel like you're in a trial marriage. Y'all are so damn messy for that. Sandy and JR move into their apartment and they cannot hide their excitement to be coupled up together.
Nah, I mean, you wifey now, so.
Yeah.
What? I'm gonna tie you to the bed with this.
Have you ever dated a white girl?
Never dated a white girl before.
No way.
Never. Maybe cleanse my mind because you in that dress. We're single, so we'll see what happens.
So I'm not gonna lie. As the episode kept going and even into episode 4, I was actually starting to buy their relationship. It pains me to say, but I am starting to buy it. However, at this point in the episode, I was like, how long are they going to keep up this facade? For real. She's like, you know, he and I have such different upbringings and we can really challenge each other. And I was not buying it at all. At all. Then he brings up the whole, oh yeah, I haven't been with a white girl thing again. And I'm just like, at this point, they should just smash so he could just get it over with. Like, he's so hung up on it, like, wow, I've just never done it before, you know? So different, so new. I'm so curious. Hey, just do it. Just do it. The anatomy is the same. Goodness sakes. Chanel and Dave are talking in their new apartment, and Dave cannot process the fact that Vanessa is actually connecting with somebody else good, as she should.
How was tonight for you?
This is just so weird. I had thought about leaving the whole experience.
Yeah.
I was like staring them down. Nick took the ring with him. So that kind of messed with my head a little bit. Just because Nick took it, it mean a lot for Vanessa.
Dave, to me, is making it seem like his concern is not with Vanessa, but it's with Nick's intentions regarding Vanessa. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, of course, he hasn't seen this, but based on everything that we've seen on their dates, I haven't gotten the impression that Nick has ulterior motives trying to partner up with Vanessa. But as a person who is seeing their partner connect with somebody else, of course, you're led to assume the worst. Now, I'm so curious to know if things would have been different if he coupled up with somebody he actually wanted to be with. He acknowledges that Chanel is great and all, whatever, but is he into Chanel the way that he was initially into somebody like Mariah? Or after the first conversation with Arya, like, is he interested in that way? No, he's not. I think that these two were kind of like the last to figure something out. And so they just latched onto each other. But would he be so sulky if he had the person he desired to be partnered up with? I highly doubt it. I also think that the cockiness that Dave came into the experiment with is what is now hurting him. He should have just came in calm, cool, collected, not being like, oh, you know, back when I was single, I used to be that guy. I used to be, oh, let me tell you, Vanessa, to your face that I'm into this other girl. Look at you now. See your life. See your life. So while the couples are moving in, they're starting to establish some house rules. Micah and Mariah, is it Mariah or Maria? Whichever one. It's so awkward, incredibly awkward. They're both quiet people. Micah, I don't think he's an introvert, but he did say that he seeks that comfort from Chanel. So now without Chanel being there to help him like really come out of his shell, it's dry, it's stale, it's very, very awkward. So we see some footage of him texting in the night. Chanel is also texting in the night. And eventually we find out that four people have just left. So without even saying goodbye, Dave, Vanessa, Micah, and Chanel, all gone. And I find it interesting that those are the couples that have left because I do think Chanel and Vanessa were very receptive to the process. And then it was Dave and Micah who couldn't really deal with their partner connecting with somebody else, but also were dragging their feet so much to get married in the first place. If you don't play about your girl, if you struggle to see her connected with other people, if you eventually want marriage, why the holdup? Like, that's what I'm not understanding. And it now makes sense why there was a question mark when it came to Micah and some other people. We weren't going to see them. Makes sense. Like, Micah was not going to give himself in this process. Dave was not going to give himself in this process. I want to know where they're at now. Are y'all engaged? Are y'all still just dating? Like, what happens now? They better be at the reunion. They better be at the reunion and I better see some rings. Somebody left a comment that they've been in a 10-year relationship and they don't feel like marriage is the end all and be all. I also don't believe that marriage is the end all and be all. However, I do see the importance in marriage, at least where my life is concerned. So if I was dating somebody, I would need them to have a similar timeline with me. So if I'm saying I want to get married and you don't want to get married right now, but you eventually want to get married, but you also don't want to see me explore other people, but you also like it. That part is so confusing. Dave and Micah don't really make sense to me. You claim to not play about your girl, so prove it. Those guys are not the only guys crashing out. We have Nick who ran into Sandy. He heard about the kiss and yeah, he's not processing it well.
I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm just really fucking hurt.
I was brought here by Nick. This is what we signed up for. He asked me if we like have kids and I said, yeah. He thinks that we're just here to like fuck around. Like we're literally not. I answer the phone and we're talking for like 2 seconds and you blow up and you hang up, calling me like 100 times. To me, it's like borderline harassment.
It was definitely a good call on Sandy's part to just be honest about how far she's gone with JR in this process. I don't know if she said the timeline because that was about what, day 3 of knowing each other? Something like that. I don't know what you want her to do, Nick. Like, you brought her here. She's doing the process. So yeah, I think he just needs to suck it up. Apparently he's like blowing up her phone. He like lashes out at her and then just hangs up. It sounds like he's throwing a temper tantrum. Now, whenever we see Nick, he's not giving that energy. So that's interesting. Like, who is the Nick that Sandy experiences versus the Nick that he's trying to portray himself to be on the show? I also wonder if they spoke about boundaries. Because she kissed him and he's upset about it, I would assume they didn't speak about boundaries. And Sandy gives me the impression that she's willing to push said boundaries, even if they were in place. So yeah, Nick is gonna have a very hard time. So all of this drama happened 3 days into the trial marriages. Nick and Mariah are now just single. They're not going to move in together, but they are going to like support each other during the trial marriages until they get to go back with their main partner. I think it would have been beneficial for them to just experience some semblance of a trial marriage. Like, what are you learning when you're by yourself? I'm by myself in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, Arya opens up about her upbringing. It adds so much context to why she's hesitant to get married.
I did want to ask, when did your parents separate?
There was a time where they had an open relationship.
Do you think that plays into any fears?
I used to see other women. It goes back to not trusting men. I feel like I can be like real with you and there are like nice guys out there.
The more I learn about Arya, the more I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't get married right now. Like, there's so many things for her to unpack in her personal life. I think it would be beneficial for her to just take time for herself. So initially she said that she doesn't want marriage to stop the growth that she's currently having career-wise and stuff like that. And also being married to Scotty would require her to move. Scotty's going to open up about that later, why he wants her to come to him. Then she talked about, can I say tumultuous? Yeah, the tumultuous relationship she has with Scotty. Like, he doesn't seem to care for her in the way that she needs, you know? And we saw a little glimpse when he got a little heated. I'm just like, ooh, this could be a lot, you know? He says that her feelings are overwhelming. Not gonna lie, she does cry a lot, but you want to be with somebody who's able to hold space for sorry, that was a nod to the whole Wicked Press tour. You want somebody who's able to hold space for you. You know what I'm saying? Be a soft landing place in your relationship. And he doesn't seem to be that. So yeah, I think that being with Scotty is just creating a bigger issue for her, because she needs somebody who is tender with her, who cares for her the way that she needs, who's patient with her. Caleb is absolutely giving her that. Scotty is not. Scotty shares that he's not the only person who's eager for him to get married. His mama is putting on the pressure.
Proximity to family is definitely important, but I do feel like I'm based in LA. When I have kids, I want to make sure that they know who their grandmother is and that they spend time together. Her primary concern right now is, are you going to get married? The thing that I really want to avoid is just being an older parent.
My mom wants me to wait.
I'm interested to know where you guys fall in this conversation. I'm kind of in between. So my parents are similar to Zaina's. They don't really care when I get married. They just want me to get married to the right person, however long that takes, which is so interesting because they are traditional Christian African parents. I'm feeling internal pressure because the clock is ticking, not only for me, but also for them. So Scotty says that he wants his kids to have a close relationship with his parents, both physically and emotionally, all those things. And so time is running out, and that becomes less and less likely the longer he takes to get married. I hear it. I totally hear it. But you also don't want to get married to somebody where they feel like being married to you is like a trap, where they feel like being with you diminishes who they are. Eventually, it could lead to a toxic marriage, a miserable marriage, ultimately a divorce. What would be the point to rush a marriage with somebody who's just not there yet? Either you be patient with her, or you find somebody who is more compatible with you in that sense. We get to learn even more backstory about Scotty. He says that when he was a kid, he wasn't a bad kid, but as he got older, he started to get a little bit rebellious. So he and his dad got into an argument, and one day his dad said, "I love you," and he didn't reciprocate. I think it was the next day or something like that, his father passed away. Whew! That, obviously a parent passing in general is heartbreaking, but with that context, that is going to stick with somebody for a long time. So he says that he feels that was a lesson from God to teach him to cherish the relationships he has. Now, I wonder if you have that mentality, I need to do right by the people in my life. Why is the relationship with Arya the way that it is? I'm so confused. Where is the disconnect? Is Arya really is she really giving him the business behind closed doors, and she just doesn't seem like she would because she looks just so sweet and so innocent? What's going on with these two? I'm so confused. But anyways, Arya and Caleb are getting on like a house on fire.
Close your eyes, close your eyes.
Okay. That's cute. Do I feel like my lips feel softer? I don't know.
They look softer. Do you feel taken care of?
I do. I have never felt so comfortable before.
I know I used the word platonic in the beginning because I feel like that's how I felt.
Evolving into a deep connection.
You smell good.
May this kind of love find me. Caleb is that dude. I'm really liking him. So he says that in his own relationship, he feels overwhelmed because Mariah is so codependent, and because she felt abandoned when she was younger and stuff, she just latches on so tightly. He also said earlier that she's rarely ever single. So he feels like if he can't get his life together, she's just going to find the next person and eventually marry him. So yeah, he's going through a lot of stuff, but he shows up and he's so attentive and he's so caring. He's so gentle. He's so, personality wise, he's a little bit bland for me. But if I have to deal with a bland personality and experience this kind of love, may it find me, okay? May it find me. I want this for Arya. I do. Yeah, maybe we need to get more insight on Arya and like when they get back together, Arya and Scotty, maybe we'll see some of the things that Scotty is complaining about. Outside of her emotions being overwhelming, I can see that. But like what else? Because he says he feels like unappreciated. She doesn't value the person that he is. She makes him seem like a villain when he's really not. I need to know what he's talking about. The episode ends with Sandy and JR. They've been talking a lot about some deeper stuff, not even gonna lie to you, okay? He said he wants to get married, wants to have kids, but kids is maybe like more in his 40s and stuff. What a luxury to be a man. A fertile man, at least. 40! The fact that you can even throw 40 out there and no one would bat an eye. Ugh, must be nice. So yeah, they've been talking about some deep stuff. And in this conversation, they open up about cheating.
I don't fuck with cheating. You already know that. Like, I've never cheated before. Marriage is you're locked in.
It's like you cheat. It's like Control Alt Delete.
I still think like you guys are married. Even if someone does cheat, in my perspective, you kind of have to work through it.
It cut deep.
Yeah.
And I still have those insecurities. Fuck my head up.
See JR in a different light than I think most people because he has this hard shell. I think he's always been very independent-minded. He's so strong. He's so masculine. But that's him protecting himself.
This is another topic where I'm kind of split down the middle. As I get older, I feel like my thoughts change with every year. Like one year I'm on this side, the other year I'm on that side. I understand what Sandy is saying in the sense that when you are married, there are higher stakes and you can't just give up the way that you would when you're just dating somebody, right? You do have to just fight through certain things. Cheating for her is one of them. For JR, cheating is not one of them. He clarifies that the infidelity was on his ex-wife's part. Don't know if he retaliated or don't know if he had his own cheating beforehand, but definitively, the wife absolutely did cheat. And that was enough for him to be like, you know what? The marriage is over. I hear it. And I as I stand today, well, I'm sitting. As I sit today, I'm on JR's side, but I think there's nuance as well, you know, the time you've spent in that marriage, how intertwined your lives are at that point. Do you have kids? What was the type of cheating? Like I can understand how it gets more difficult the more things you add into that marriage, you know? So, interesting. You guys let me know where you stand on that. In a marriage, is cheating an absolute deal breaker or are you willing to work on it a little bit? So it seems like in dating, these two have no problem cheating because why did we see a clip of them getting back into the apartment and shutting the door and I will say I am believing in their relationship more. The physical just seemed so like, okay, and just because that's all we got to see. But seeing that they can also have deep, insightful conversations and be vulnerable with each other, I'm like, well, you know what? They might shock us all and have the strongest relationship out here. Who knows? We'll have to see how that goes. Tomorrow, I will not drop a video. It's Saturday, so I'll be at church. But I'll drop episode 5 on Friday. What day is it today? Today is Friday. I'll drop it on Sunday, and then the new batch drops on Wednesday. So as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.